What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And the Phillies, they start this first of a three-game series with the Atlanta Braves, and they end up winning in the most anemically offensive game I've seen out of two teams. They win by a score of 2-0. I don't even consider this game a pitcher's duel. It was basically just which teams want to score less runs and get less hits. Because I don't think Spencer Strider was good on the mound for the Braves. He was all over the place. And Ranger Suarez was solid, but he got into a lot of deep counts in this game, threw a ton of pitches. Still managed to go 6 scoreless innings. So it is solid stuff. Wasn't the best version of Ranger Suarez. Phillies bullpen did shut things down for the most part. But the only clean inning for the Phillies today, pitching-wise, was Romano's 9th inning, getting the save a 1-2-3 there. So, yeah, weird game. Weird game. But I would love to talk more about a 2-0 win, but the most in a big thing that we need to talk about, Bryce Harper leaves the game in the bottom of the first inning after getting drilled by a 96-mile-an-hour fastball by Spencer Strider right in his right elbow. Right in his right elbow. They did say halfway through the game it was an elbow contusion, that their x-rays are negative. We still need to hear from Rob Thompson fully, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from him in a little bit from Phillies Postgame Live, so hopefully that is the case. But we need to, it's a big deal there, because Bryce Harper went down in a lot of pain, and that was his surgically repaired elbow. And Bryce Harper was coming into this game more, like Bryce Harper traditionally offensively, and it looked like he was finding confidence offensively. And yeah, he gets drilled right on the elbow, and we don't know the extent of how long he'll be out for. And like I said, we still need to hear from Rob Thompson. And yeah, it's a good emotional win for the Phillies after seeing your best player get drilled, after your top guy gets drilled. But still, it was a 2-0 win. But yeah, worried about Bryce. I am very worried about Bryce. The Braves had a lot of base runners in this game, and I don't think they recorded a single hit with base runners. That's how bad the Braves' offense was today as well, along with the Phillies. I think the Phillies, they only had both teams only had 5 hits, and the Phillies had basically 1 or 2 hits like through the majority of halfway through the game, and then they got a couple of hits in that bottom of the 8th inning. Alec Boehm, Nick Castellanos back-to-back 2-out singles, which led to bases loaded, which eventually led to, of course, JT Realmuto getting the biggest at-bat in the game in the bottom of the 8th inning when he was moved lower in the lineup to the 8 hole just to try to not get him as many chances with runners in scoring position as possible, but he gets the biggest chance. And good on JT. He walked. Good on him. Walked in an insurance run. But it also does suck because you had a chance to put more runs up on the board in that 8th inning with Johan Rojas up at the plate. He got up in the count 3-0 because the pitcher couldn't find anything in the strike zone for the Braves, and then he realized that Rojas was not looking to swing, and he threw 3 straight strikes. Rojas having to swing at the final one because it was right down the plate, basically. Yeah, that was a missed opportunity, but thankfully for Jordan Romano, he looked way better than what he did against the Athletics. So I guess we'll chalk that up to the mound in Sacramento really hurting him. He looked a lot better in this game. But yeah, Kirkland looked really good. Strahm looked a lot better from his last outing. So your 3 back-end guys coming up large for you in a low-scoring game. Really wish there was more offensively, but when your pitching is able to come up there, you can get away with it. You can get away with it there, and your pitching did come up for you. But do I think that Spencer Strider drilled Bryce Harper on purpose? I know a lot of Phillies fans will want to drive with that narrative. Do I think he did that on purpose? No, I don't think so. I don't think he did. I think his command was all over the place the entire game, and he has not been sharp since coming back from the injury. He came back for his first start, went back on the IL, then just came back not that long ago, and his command has been all over the place, and of course his velocity isn't where it needs to be, and also granted he is coming off of Tommy John surgery, so it's not going to be the prettiest thing coming back from that, but no, he has not looked sharp in all 3 of his starts so far this year. Yeah, his stat line says 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 1 hit allowed, but if you look at the details, he threw 90 pitches, he only threw 50 strikes. His command was all over the place. all over the place, and the Phillies should have did way more damage to Spencer Strider. But what are you gonna do? The Braves bullpen, besides Hernandez, they pretty much shut the Phillies down. They only allowed 2 hits. They allowed, the majority of the Phillies got to the bullpen. They got 4 hits against the bullpen. De Los Santos, they got a hit against and a walk. Nothing happened there. Lee basically shut you down. Montero came in to finish an inning on 1 pitch, basically, and it was a good swing by Trey Turner. Sadly, it was right at Ronald Acuna Jr. And then Hernandez looked like he was going to mow you down the entire bottom of the 8th inning, and then just completely imploded. Luckily, only getting out of that inning with allowing only 1 earned run on a bases-loaded walk. Should have been way more runs. Phillies defensively, Max Kepler made a huge catch, sliding catch against Matt Olson. Matt Olson was getting robbed a lot in today's game. Dude was hitting balls hard all over the place, some hard ground balls, some hard liners, and it was basically just right at Phillies. So Kepler made a nice play. Realistically, I think the only bad defensive play they made in today's game was a shallow fly ball. I believe it was by Michael Harris, and it just died in no man's land. And it felt like that was a ball that Brandon Marsh could have gotten to if he just ran more. And that also feels like that's a ball that Rojas can catch too if he was in that situation. So I have no idea. So thankfully, it didn't come back to bite you in the ass for that part. Excuse me, sneezes haven't happened this frequently this year. I don't know why they're happening right now, but that's my luck. But Trey Turner made some nice plays defensively. Bryson Stott made some nice plays defensively. Bohm, same thing, but Bohm also had to be moved over to first base, thanks to Bryce Harper having to, get taken out of the game. Precautionary most likely, and then Sosa playing over at third. Sosa, he had some blunders, I would say. Realistically, only 1 blunder. There was a ball that was lined right to him, and it went right off his glove into the outfield. I think that was the only mistake that he made at third base in the entirety of today's game. But seriously, if you just want to look at everything from today's game, there is not much that's going on. Top of the first inning, there was a 2-out single by Ozuna. Nothing happened there. Bottom first, Bryce Harper obviously got hit by the pitch. Nothing happened after that. A base runner leadoff walk by Albies in the top of the second inning. Nothing followed that for the Braves. Bottom of the second inning, Bohm with a leadoff walk, and then Max Kepler, once again cheating on the fastball, crushes the ball into the gap, which takes a couple of friendly bounces on the wall, which allows Bohm to score from first base. He also read the ball really well off the bat, so I'll give Bohm credit there. But a couple of lucky bounces there allowed Bohm to score. Good hit by Kepler, puts you up 1-0. Sadly, they couldn't drive him home from second base. Top third, after a 2-out single by Riley, nothing happens there. Bottom 3, a leadoff walk for Bryson Stott. Nothing happens as well. He does steal second base in the process, but doesn't score. Top 4, Albies, he reaches on a fielding error by Edmundo Sosa. That was the ball that was hit right at his glove and went into left field. Nothing happened, thankfully, to that. Bottom 4, Phillies go down 1-2-3. Top 5, Harris. This was basically the big inning for the Braves where they really let the game slip away from them, and it's really a big inning in today's game. Harris with a leadoff single. Allen then with a sacrifice bunt, which allows Harris to go to second base. Harris, that single, that was the one that died in no man's land that Marsh probably should have caught. So then Ronald Acuna Jr. walks. Riley then grounds into a fielder's choice. So you got a man on first and third. Then Ozuna walks, which brings up Matt Olson, lefty, with bases loaded. Ranger gets into a 2-2 count. Then he throws a fastball up and in the Matt Olson, and he can't hold back. And Olson strikes out to get out of the top of the 5th unscathed for Ranger Suarez with the bases loaded. So good on Ranger. Good on Ranger there. That was really when his command was starting to go all over the place. He was starting to lose the strike zone, but good on Ranger. Good on Ranger there. Phillies, they do have a chance to respond to that not scoring for the Braves in the bottom of the 5th. 2-out walk for Bryson Stott. A 2-out walk for Trey Turner, which puts 2 runners on. They bring in De Los Santos, take Strider out of the ball game, and then Edmundo Sosa grounds out. So no harm there. Top 6, Albies with a leadoff single, but then a 1-2-3 inning. Basically after that for Ranger Suarez, he retires the next 3 guys in order. Bottom 6, Schwarber with a leadoff walk, and then Bohm grounds into a double play. Slowest runner alive. It was a weird play by the shortstop for the Braves. Any other runner probably would have beat that out, but not Alec Bohm. So it's 2 outs, and then Nick Castellanos gets the second hit of the game for the Phillies, but then they bring in Lee to face Kepler, and nothing happens there. Kerkering out there in the top of the 7th inning allows a single to Ronald Acuna, but then really doesn't have any worries the rest of that inning, gets Ozuna to strike out to end it off. Bottom 7, Stott reaches in on an infield single, really nothing. It was a cue shot to Riley, really couldn't do much more on that play, and he ended up being safe. They bring in Montero to face Trey Turner, put good wood on the ball, just sadly lined out right to Ozuna, not right to Ozuna, right to Acuna in right field. Top 8, Matt Strahm out there on the mound, gets the first 2 guys out, then walks Murphy, and then manages to get White the ground into a fielder's choice. It was a good play by Trey Turner, bobbled the ball a little bit, but then he managed to get the force out at second base, so good stuff there by Trey Turner. Bottom of the 8th inning, this is when the Phillies finally add that insurance run after Sosa grounds out and Schwarber strikes out. Bohm with a single, Castellanos with a single, Kepler with a 4-pitch walk. Basically, it felt like a pitch around to Kepler to face JT with bases loaded because they probably thought that would be the better matchup. Then JT Realmuto makes them pay. Goes up 2-0 in the count. Eventually, it becomes a full count, and then JT finally does not fish at a fucking outside slider, and he fucking walks with bases loaded, drives in a run. Thank God. Thank God. But then Johan Rojas goes up 3-0 in the count, then strikes out swinging. So, sucks that you couldn't get more runs there. But then Jordan Romano in the 9th strikes out Harris on 3 pitches, gets Baldwin the ground out, and then gets Acuna to line out to Rojas in center field to end the ball game off. So good stuff there by Romano. Gets the save there. Bryson Stott in today's game, he was 1 for 2 with 2 walks, so a good day at the plate for him. Trey Turner 0 for 5 with a walk. Bryce Harper did not register an at-bat since he got hit by the pitch. Sosa came in and goes 0 for 3. Kyle Schwarber, he goes 0 for 3 with a walk. Alec Bohm goes 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a walk. Nick Castellanos, 2 for 4. Max Kepler, 1 for 3 with the RBI double and a walk. JT Realmuto gets an RBI, goes 0 for 3 with the bases loaded walk. Brandon Marshall goes 0 for 2. Then Weston Wilson comes in to pinch hit when they brought Lee into the game. He struck out, goes 0 for 1. And then Johan Rojas in his lone plate appearance with bases loaded, he goes 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Phillies, they go 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 runners on base. And for the Braves, they went 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. They left 10 runners on base as well. I think the broadcast said they were hitless with just runners on base in general. So the Braves offense was not good once they got guys on the base paths, basically. Pitching-wise for the Phillies, Suarez, 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts on 103 pitches. So basically, since Rangers' blow-up in his first start against the Diamondbacks, has been very good since. He has lowered that ERA to below 3. It's at 2.97 right now. Kerkering, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout, 14 pitches. Kerkering has been a lot better as of late. Matt Strahm, 1 inning, 1 walk, 1 strikeout, 15 pitches. Then Romano, 1 inning, 1 strikeout, 11 pitches, 8 strikes. Some good stuff there by Jordan Romano. So, and I think it's also very crucial that the Phillies got this win tonight, because I don't think it's guaranteed that they win, that the game gets played tomorrow. I think it is supposed to rain the entirety of tomorrow. So there is a very good shot that tomorrow is not going to be played, and most likely you'll be getting a doubleheader on Thursday. That is what I'm seeing, but most likely, knowing my luck, when I say that, they'll find a way and they'll find a window to play tomorrow. But when I'm looking at when I'm looking at the rain forecast right now, when I'm looking at the Weather Channel, it says currently that tomorrow is a 99% chance of rain. And looking at basically everything, during the daytime, chance of rain, 100% rainfall may reach an inch, local heavy rainfall possible. And then during the nighttime, rain early, then remaining cloudy with showers late, chance of rain 100%, rainfall near 1/4 of an inch. So most likely tomorrow will not get played if all of that plays out. I did see that Rob Thompson talked on the TV in front of me on post-game, so let me see if anything on Twitter brings up what Rob Thompson said. I don't know if anything was said about Rob Thompson's. Okay. This is from John Clark, so he just posted this on NBC Sports Philadelphia. So let's get to what he has to say, unless he's just showing the video. I think he's just showing the video. So he did put in the tweet that Rob Thompson says Bryce Harper was in a lot of pain. Rob says the X-rays were thankfully negative. Rob does not know if Bryce will be able to play tomorrow. Bryce has a contusion in his right elbow after being hit by Spencer Strider's fastball. Jesus. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that any Phillies person threw today. Don't think there was. would I be able to get to see what Rob Thompson said on the post game? Maybe I could find that. Let me get that on YouTube. If I can go to YouTube TV and get the post game feed and maybe try to rewind it to when Rob was talking. Let me try to get that. Let me switch the account right here. Let me switch it to that. Why does it have to go there? Oh my god, just let me get on fucking YouTube TV, please. Thank you. Where is Phillies postgame live? Let me get there. Rob, where are you at? So, is Rob right here? Here we go. Let me try to get Rob Thompson right here, so you guys can listen along with me. Let's bring this up. Let's go over here, and let's get this. Volume good? Yep, volume's good. Let's play that.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to reevaluate in the morning, but the x-rays were negative, and, he's certainly in a lot of pain. So whenever one of your top hitters or your best hitter gets hit like that, there's always some concern, but he's a tough guy, too.
You didn't think there was any intent there?
No.
When you got out there, he's on the ground and he's cradling his arm. Kind of what are you thinking the worst there?
Yeah, I mean, you're always concerned, the little crack in the bone or whatever. So the x-ray, thankfully, was negative. But, we'll just have to see tomorrow.
Rob, you obviously have a game to keep managing, but how anxious are those moments while you're waiting maybe for an update on Bryce, and where does that update come from during the game?
One of the trainers came down and told me about it. And, so I was anxious, but happy that there was no break, for sure.
And just Ranger seemed like maybe he didn't have his best stuff at times tonight, but to grind out through 6 innings.
Yeah, and he got out of that 5th inning jam, and early in the game they put some good at bats on him. He got his pitch count up a little bit, a lot of 3-2 counts, and but he just kept grinding. I thought the changeup was really good today. He located his fastball fine. I thought he did a great job giving us 6 innings. That's a good lineup against left-hand pitch.
How have you seen Kirkering mature over the past month?
He's been really good. I mean, he's attacking hitters now, trusts his stuff, very confident.
Well, it sounds like there's not much else said about Bryce Harper. It's just that we'll see if he is able to play tomorrow. So, and granted, I don't think tomorrow is going to get played with the way that the forecast is predicting with all the rain that's supposed to be happening tomorrow. So it may be a good thing that you don't play tomorrow. And like I said, I do think that's the important thing of winning today's game as well, because I was foreseeing tomorrow's game possibly not being played. You win today's game, tomorrow does get postponed, and you do have to play a doubleheader on Thursday. You probably have a good shot at winning this series because it is very hard for a team to sweep the doubleheader. So maybe you put yourself in a good position. I have no idea. Granted, you do have Zach Wheeler on the mound and also Christopher Sanchez on the mound in these last 2 games, so you probably should have a good chance to win this series. So it's really important that you got the win today. It was also a cool thing, and before today's game as well, you see Guy Goudreau and also Howie Roseman throw out the ceremonial first pitches. So that was always nice to see. The Goudreau family, they're doing their 5K event at the end of the month. I think it is on May 30th. So yeah, definitely. I think the 5K is already full and sold out for ticket-wise, but you can also do the 5K virtually, and you can also donate to the links on the website. I probably should put that in the description below for the Goudreau family charity that they're doing. So always some good stuff there. Still crazy about that whole tragedy with Johnny and Maddie Goudreau, but like seeing the family is remaining strong and basically celebrating their life of the two brothers. But it was cool seeing Guy get the first pitch. It was cool seeing that. But yeah, it was also cool seeing Howie Roseman with him. I'm sure that was like a kind of a celebrity moment for Guy, for Coach Guy there. So nice cool thing there. But I also do want to bring up something else that I saw before today's game as well, in terms of like trade rumors and talking about stuff like that, because it was brought up by the same person that it was from Alex Cole from WIP, producer on WIP, and he was the same guy that on the night before kind of broke that he was hearing from sources that Alvarado was going to be suspended, and then the very next morning Alvarado got suspended. So Right now, it's play it by ear, but I guess this guy has some reliable sources, and he put out 2 tweets in regards of what the Phillies are possibly looking for in trades and what he's hearing from his sources. So, both these tweets from Alex Cole, one of these is in regards to maybe the one that's maybe more realistic of happening, excuse me there. So, Cole writes, 4 hours ago, this was before the game started, hearing that the Phillies are locking in on Orioles center fielder Cedric Mullins. The Phillies grew likings to Mullins at the World Baseball Classic a few years back. And the second tweet that he posted basically right after this, also hearing that the Phillies have had discussions about Orioles pitcher Felix Bautista, Cardinals pitcher Ryan Helsley, and have had minimal talks regarding Orioles first baseman Ryan O'Hearn, although not very likely. So they are out there. It's been widely known that Dave Dombrowski is out there looking for arms. If we look at Cedric Mullins this year, I think he had like a very good month of April, but he has not had the best month of May. He's basically a guy that has very good pop. He gets on base, but he doesn't hit for average, and he's a very good center fielder at the same time. I think there was a post from Phillies Tailgate, if I'm not mistaken, that on that tweet here. I guess I can't figure out what the quote tweets were because I guess he doesn't make that public. It was by Phillies Tailgate, though, that posted some of the stats from Mullins. So if I find that tweet, I know I posted it. Here we go. So this was from Phillies Tailgate. The Phillies were interested in Cedric Mullins at the trade deadline last year. He put up great numbers in April, but has struggled in May. In April, in 97 at-bats, he batted .278 with a .412 on base and a .515 slug. In 80 bats during the month of May, he's batted .163 with a .190 on base and a .363 OPS. Or less, that's a slugging percentage. Yeah, that's a slugging percentage. So yeah, struggling in month of May is kind of saying it lightly. Baltimore has held Mullins out of the lineup for the last 2 games, and they put the 2 eyeball emojis out there. So I wonder if there's any validity to this. So there, never know. You definitely never know. Mullins definitely would be, in theory, an upgrade because he is a bat that has some pop in there. Like I said, he does have 10 home runs on the season. But he really is struggling in this month of May. Just look at his career stats just to see where he is. He's a career .251 hitter, .320 on base career, and a .746 OPS. So basically right now his career numbers are lining up where his stats are right now. Just basically besides the average, the on base percentage is exactly the same, and the OPS is just a tad bit higher this year than it was. So if we look at his past couple of seasons, last year for the Orioles, he batted .234 with a .305 on base and a .405 slug, .710 OPS. He had 18 home runs, 54 RBI. In 2023, he batted .233 with a .305 on base, .416 slug, .721 OPS, 15 home runs, 71 RBI. So realistically, he's been a home run guy. 2021 was a really major power season for him. 30 home runs, 59 RBI, 291 average, 360 on base, 518 slug, 878 OPS. That's really an outlier year for Cedric Mullins. But he's been like a solid bat more than not for Baltimore. He's 30 years old. Obviously, he does play a good glove in center field. So let me see his baseball savant, see if there's like anything that there is to that. Cedric Mullins, see where some of his numbers are. His numbers are mostly in the blue, but his fielding is good. Has good range in the outfield. Obviously, his arm strength is not the best, but he is fast out there, so there is some sprint speed. He does walk. That's a good thing. He doesn't chase that much. He doesn't whiff that much. A lot of his numbers are more in the, I guess, the median, except for some of them. But overall, I wouldn't mind the trade, but it definitely wouldn't be eye-popping either. But it definitely would be an upgrade over what you have now. But that still is it's a lefty. It's not a righty. They need a righty. So we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes, obviously, from there. But if they are actually interested in like Bautista, I think guys like Mullins and Bautista are probably more realistic. Just basing it off of where the Orioles are at in the Major League standings in the American League, because they have not been good. They are 19-35. They have been bad, to say the least. Their pitching has not been good. Their starting pitching specifically. So it definitely would make sense if Baltimore was trading guys like Mullins, trading guys like Batista to get some value in return. You probably had to pay a lot to get Batista because he has a good arm. What is Felix Batista's numbers this year? What are his numbers this year? 0-1 with a 3.78 ERA, 1.26 WHIP. Baseball Savant. Let me look at his Baseball Savant page. Baseball Savant page, he looks very good. Basically, everything is in the red besides his walks. He walks a lot of people. So that's basically the same. He fits the Phillies bullpen MO. Throws gas, can't control it. That's basically what it is. But yeah, Felix Batista would definitely be a major upgrade for your bullpen if that were to be a case. But you would have to pay a lot to get Batista. You would have to pay a lot. So yeah, there's really not much else to talk about with this. So there are quotes from Spencer Strider actually with the Bryce Harper situation. So talk about Phillies and blah 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 blah. Obviously, he says it's not intentional. Yeah, here we go. This is from Anthony Sanfilippo of On Pattison. Spencer Strider said he didn't intentionally hit Bryce Harper and he's glad he's okay. I'm not a complete sociopath, so I have empathy. So, I do feel bad for him and to see a person in pain that I caused, but, I still have a job to do. And then talking about playing in Philly with the fans and the booze and all that crap. Blah, 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 blah. What else is there? I don't think there is much. So if we're looking at just the next few games in general, like I said, tomorrow is very TBD because we don't know if tomorrow is going to be getting played because of the rain. Most likely will not. But tomorrow would be Zach Wheeler against AJ Smith-Shawver. And Shawver is 3-2 with a 3.67 ERA. His last start, he got absolutely pounced by the Nationals, 7 earned runs in 3 innings. But overall, he's been pretty solid for the Braves. And then for Game 3 of this series, it's Christopher Sanchez against Chris Sale, who has been very good for the Braves this year, obviously. Win-loss record isn't there, but the ERA 3.36. So definitely not as dominant as he was last year. I think he got off to a rocky start, but he's been much better since that rocky start. And obviously, you got this weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers. So right now, focus on winning this series against the Braves. But like I said, tomorrow is to be determined because we don't know what the weather. We don't know what the weather at all. We don't have any voicemails here on the Anytime Hotline, so I think this is a good spot to end it. I'll get to some of you guys here in the chat before we end it off. Also, I gotta blow my nose because all that sneezing has made me congested because my luck. Julian, how you doing? I want Rojas gone more than anyone. Jesus and fuck strategy. Jay, go Phillies. Ranger was good enough to win. Romano shut it down, and I'm sorry. I do think it was intentional. I think most people are going to think it was intentional at the end of the day. Strider did that on purpose, but why the fuck didn't the Phillies hit one of theirs? Come on. I don't know. I'm not really the guy that, go out there, even though I kind of was in the moment, go out there and plunk a guy, but, you're winning at the point. You weren't winning at that point. The most important, I think the best thing to do is just win the ball game, and they did win the ball game. Jose, Strider was booed loudly. We probably hitting Acuna tomorrow right on his bad knees. Oh, God. Franco, I am not one to say throw at the opposing batter, but after seeing Strider hit Harper with an intentional high fastball, you have to get back at him, mostly Acuna or fat ass Ozuna. Raymond talking about the Gaudreau family. They have some great items in their silent auction. Yeah, they do. I think they had a lot of good things in their silent auction. I think there was a Sidney Crosby jersey. There was an Aaron Judge jersey or something like that. There was a couple of sports jerseys and sports memorabilia. So they're doing a lot of good. They're doing a lot of good. So definitely people should go check that out. The Gaudreau Family Foundation and all that. But yeah, good win by the Phils. Hopefully everything turns out okay with Bryce. And we'll see if the game tomorrow gets played or not. But if the game does get played, obviously we'll have a recap following it. If the game does not get played, y'all get a day off from my face. And my voice and my sneezing. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Don't forget to drop a like. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It does me such a great deal of service. You can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Do not pass it up. And leave a follow at TTP Sports on TikTok and Instagram for all the good stuff. So appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. And I'll see you next time.